How do I build real relationships in a hypersexual culture? So, I am pretty sure no one needs to tell you that the gay community is hypersexual, hypersexualized, hypersexual, whatever. Trying to find real relationships. First, let's start off with getting clear on what you want. Like I always say, if you don't know what you're looking for, how will you recognize it once you have found it? So in this space, I want you to write, what does a real friendship look like to you before I preach what I think? And also there are 30 qualities of a real friendship on the next page. So for those of you that are better, or it's easier for you to pick what you do and don't want, here are 30 qualities that I've added. And for me, it is non-sexual energy, safe to be vulnerable, accepts you for who you are, does not compete, makes time, and laughs with you. Non-sexual energy, first of all, that's like almost like in the title of the video, especially in the gay community. I feel like it's hard to find friends that don't want to sleep with you, at least in my experience. There's always some weird sexual energy there. Either I'm attracted to them or they're attracted to me. And just because there's mutual attraction doesn't mean you can't be friends and be platonic. Again, this is not friends with benefits. I know a lot of you casually sleep with your friends, but to me, I think that's a bigger issue I think that causes more issues within the community than anything else, but that's not what I want to discuss in this video. All that to say, I feel like I'm more than capable to have someone that I'm attracted to, and if they say and we say or we agree with just being friends, I can 100% cut that attraction off and just look at you as a friend. So no sexual energy there is definitely needed. So no flirting, no touching, no like that weird energy where it's like, are y'all friends? Is that your friend? Or do y'all be like, no, there's no messing around. There's no friends with benefits in between. Real friendship. Remember, that's the key word. We're looking for a real friendship. The next one for me is safe to be vulnerable. If I can't tell you my secrets, what's going on with me without feeling like you're going to tell somebody else or you're going to judge me, I probably won't be trying to build anything real with you. Like, vulnerability is a part of the foundation to trust for me. And it's mutual being vulnerable, mutual vulnerability. So that means you are telling me things and I'm also telling you things. And when you tell me stuff, that makes me feel safe to tell you things. And then I'm pretty sure when I tell you things, that makes you feel safe to tell me things. And it's almost like the deeper that we go with revealing who we are, because we all wear these silly ass masks walking around this world. That builds trust, that builds safety, that makes me feel like I can be who I am, accepts you for who you are. That's the next one. If I can't be myself around you, why the hell would I even want to be around you? There's enough space on this earth for us all to live authentically and to take up space. And if I can't do that next to you without feeling judged or feeling wrong or feeling, I don't know, I know y'all be throwing shade, being catty and shit like that. I just want to be me, and I want to be around people that love me and celebrate me for being me. Trust me, there's enough self-criticism that I have in my own head. I don't need you to help me with that. Doesn't compete. I feel like a lot of gay men secretly are in competition with each other. And that's just not in friendships. That's also in romantic relationships. If it's not who is more attractive, who can get more guys, who has more money, who has a better body, who has a nicer face card. It's just all these things that we are in competition with each other for. And I don't want to compete with my friends. I want to celebrate you, celebrate who you are, know where you want to go, and support you as much as I can to get there. Just like I want the same thing with me. I always like to think of us all as, because to me, we all are unique snowflakes, y'all. Like, what I started with, how I look, my upbringing is not the same as yours. So why would I compete with you? What you have is what you have. What I have is what I have. There's no comparison. There's no in between. If we started from the same place, with the same parents, with the same look, maybe. But even when it comes to twins, they have different experiences. So why would we compete? Why would we compare? Makes time. Time is a big thing for me. That's like one of my love languages, quality time. Love languages, quality time. If you can't spend time with me, I mean, especially in-person time, I'm not trying to be rude, but I'm probably going to forget about you. And then lastly, laugh with you. I love to laugh. I love someone that can make me laugh. And now that I think about it, it's been a while since I've been around someone that everything that comes out of their mouth It makes me laugh. But all I remember is those friendships were always the best friendships that I've had. And then for those of you that need a little bit of help or are trying to look for qualities, and it's easier for you to pick qualities than it is for you to come up with them by yourself by filling in the blank, I have 30 qualities of a real friendship. So I would say maybe pick about 6 of these, specifically because we don't want to get to a place of expecting too much, which leads me to the next question. Are you expecting them to be like this all the time? So I say this too when I tell people when it comes to picking someone that you want to date. Because for a minute I was helping people like kind of doing like dating coaching and things like that, but that got a little overwhelming. But all that to say, we are human beings, which also leads into the next question. Are you expecting yourself to also show up perfectly all the time? We are human beings. We have our stuff. We have good days. We have bad days. We have emotion. We have days where we are on top of the world. We have days where we are depressed, days where we are overwhelmed, days where we are tired, days where we are exhausted. And I think we need to hold space for not just ourselves, but for other people. You know, giving that compassion to ourselves and others, which leads me to the next thing. Like, I always like to reference the books that I have read. So, you know me, I created a little assessment for you to take. So again, if you download the journal, or I can just link this down below, there is a hyperlink that you can click on and that'll take you to the assessment. So the assessment is titled, Am I Too Hard on Myself and Others? So this assessment is for gay men who struggle with perfectionism, me, high expectations, me, and feeling let down when people can't meet their needs exactly. So there are 3 sections to this, just 9 questions. The first section is about self-kindness. Second section is about expectations of others. And then the third one is emotional flexibility. So after you take that, for those of you that want a better gauge of where you are at when it comes to being hard on yourself and others, come back to the journal, write your score down, and then let's get into the next section where we need to keep your expectations in check. So when it comes to being with people, being around people, being with yourself, give space for fuck ups, give space for mistakes, give space for those people to show up as human beings. And that's up to you to determine whether or not, or how long, or how much time you want to invest in someone before you sever that tie where you're saying, you know what, this person, I've been in their life, they've been in my life for X amount of time, and they have constantly failed me time and time again. That's your choice to sever it or to give them more grace. But I always say, I lean towards giving people more grace, especially in the beginning, if you see the actions that you want. So for example, the qualities that I had, which was non-sexual energy, safe to be vulnerable, accepts you for who you are, doesn't compete, makes time, laughs with you, all those are great. So let's just say those are like the 6 things that I'm really looking for. They might not be able to do all 6 at the same time, or you know, they may not always be doing all 6. Like, they might be failing to make time with me right now because they just started dating a new boy. That's a big one in the community, is balancing relationships, your romantic relationships and your platonic relationships. I still personally have a hard time doing that, especially as someone that is polyamorous. So I have more than one partner. Making time for friends and family has been extremely difficult for me, especially right now. It is warm out, it's summertime, and my partners have vacations and family stuff and weddings and things that they want me to be a part of. So I very, very suddenly have time to do extra stuff. So there might be a month or 2 where they're not making time for you. Do you ghost them? Do you stop talking to them? Do you get mad? Do you take it personally? Or do you communicate once or twice and see what actions they do, or how they change, or how they show up differently after you've communicated, when you're capable and able to, that, hey, could you prioritize me or us a little bit more? Like, my love language is quality time. Remember the vulnerability part? This is why being able to be vulnerable is important, and me accepting you for who you are is important too, because being friends with me, dating somebody like me, you need to understand that I really value quality time. And I mean in-person time where we're just talking. One of my favorite games to play with my partners is, I think it's called We Are Not Strangers. And it digs deep into just life stuff, and it helps me to feel more connected to them. But it's also a really great time to spend quality time with them because it's just me and them and we're just talking. Accepting me for who I am, they are clear on the facts that he needs a certain amount of uninterrupted quality time. Now, again, if they go a month and a half, that's it for me. A month and a half and then I'm gonna explode. Where there isn't quality time, that's where I will probably sever the tie. So you have to think about that as you are moving into finding someone with these relationships. And I just wanted to extend that because I know that's something that I struggle with as someone that is a perfectionist and I'm hard on myself, is how hard are you on yourself and other people? Be cognizant of that. Otherwise you could be unintentionally blocking really great friendships. All right, so next, where do we go to actively find these connections in person? So I'm a big in-person type of person. Why? Because you can feel someone's presence, energy, body language, and unspoken cues that text can never tell you anything about. I feel like a lot of us are struggling with loneliness right now, and majority of that is because we're relying on these screens to connect with each other. Like, if I could, I would be in every one of you all's homes or at a coffee shop with you and connecting with you in person, because that is a better conversation to me. Again, you can pick up on a person's energy, their body language, the things that they don't say, because sometimes you can't read or understand all that if you don't hear someone's tone, see their facial expression, see how they said it with their body, if they shifted in their chair. All these things add to a person, add to the conversation. And I bet you when you are around someone in person, unless you're a little bit younger, I feel like these kids don't really know how to be in-person people, but that's not something that I'm 100% privy to. I'm just speaking out loud. For me, being in a person's presence, it feels real, and that's what we're looking for, is a real connection. So I extend to you, do these things in person. Try to find people in person. Go out in person. Don't rely just on your phone. Get into some spaces, which leads me to the next section, which is hobbies and activities where you can actually connect with people. So I don't want you just going to the bars or the clubs, which is places where I love to be at. But you can't really find quality connections there. You can really only find, in my opinion, just bar friends. And they're only hitting you up when they're trying to drink, and half the time it's just because they want people around them so that they're not there alone. But I want to actually talk to you. I want to actually connect with you. I want to be real friends, not just drinking buddies. So I listed 20 hobbies and activities. I want you guys to go through this and at least pick like 3 that you can add to your regimen. Try to do something once a week. Gradually get to a place where you're doing this stuff consistently and being around the same group of people. I think that's something I also realized, and I think a lot of people underestimate. When we were younger and we were in school, we had a lot of friends, or it was easier to find friends. Why? Because we would see them 5 days a week, time after time after, like I would have classes with some of the same people, so you would make those interactions because you were in that same space with that person. So if you're constantly in the house or online and you're not going out of your house, going to the same places, going to the same locations, doing the same hobbies and activities consistently, how are you going to run into that same person that you might have something in common with? So the remainder of the journal, which I'm not going to get into, if you're interested, again, I'm going to link all this down below. I dig into some of the things that can get in the way. At least for me, these hit home, specifically past rejection and betrayal. That definitely hits home because I've had some really great relationships and because of some nasty stuff. So we dig into that a little bit. I asked you some questions just for you to dig deeper into that. People pleasing is shape shifting. I think this was a big one for our community. I feel like a lot of us feel ashamed to be who we are and to show up as we are. Like, for example, I'm noticing, which I'm not on social media that much. Like, I'm on it enough because I want to interact with you all and find my chosen family. But I've noticed this trend towards looking like trade or whatever the fuck y'all, whatever that means. but it's almost like everybody's wearing and looking the same. And it just is kind of concerning to me, because where's the individuality and the authenticity? I just look at that and I'm like, there's no way that all of y'all wearing the same bedazzly belt, the same baggy pants, same denim. Like, it's just, you guys look so the same. Are you doing it because you want to be loved and accepted? Are you doing it because it's authentic to you? Are you doing it because it's a trend? All that to say, it's really important to show up as you are. If you're wearing a mask as you're going out to meet these people, how will you ever feel connected to them? You're connecting to them with a facade. Be you, be real, be your authentic true self. There is no reason that you need to hide that part of you. Fear of vulnerability. That's a big one too, is revealing who you are. Lack of community spaces. This is also one that I think can touch home for a lot of people, where some of the spaces where you are, like for example, I just relocated from Columbus, Ohio to Chicago, and Chicago has way more LGBT friendly spaces, bars, clubs than Columbus. And Columbus was very white for me, and not that I have anything against white people, but I just miss the culture. I miss the mix. I was raised in a melting pot, so we had a little bit of everybody in my class right up until I got into high school, where things started to be predominantly black. But I love being in a melting pot, and sometimes the spaces that you are at in your city, they just might not be in alignment for you. So I asked you a couple questions, and we dig a little bit deeper into that. But all that to say, finding and building real friendships is, especially in our community because it's so sexualized, it can be challenging. But I hope that these things kind of give you some type of guiding light. If not, if you have more questions, feel free to, there's a link down below where you can submit questions, ask the community questions. But I'm also going to post this on my forum on the website, and I want you to hop in there if you have questions, or if you have advice, or if you contradict with anything that I say, or you want me to expound on anything. Get onto the website, realgaylife.com, and join the conversation. I miss being online. I'm so glad I'm back online. I am hoping that you all will be active with me, and that we can get back to creating this community where there is love and empathy, and not superficiality and over-sexualized people, and we can actually be real with one another. With that being said, remember to be the change you wish to see. Take care.